As rideshare drivers, we are in the customer service game. Passengers get into our car, we talk with them, we try to be friendly, or we try to be silent if that's what they're into and what they want. But sometimes these passengers can ask us to go a little too far. What do we mean by that, and what can you do if you find yourself in this situation? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Tyler from the RideShare Guy. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about how we can deal with passengers who try to get us a little too involved in their lives. The worst situation for me was when I picked two people up from a house and I was just taking them to another house, which was about 15 minutes away. In the process of that, one of them had called or received a call, I'm not really sure, from their boyfriend. They were talking with them and adamant that they were in the car by themselves with just the Uber driver, aka me. However, I knew, because I can count to two, that there was another person in that car with them. Now, I don't know who that is. I don't know the situation. I don't know what's going on. But what I do know is that that passenger then said, "Would you like to speak with the Uber driver so that they can tell you that no one else is here?" Then, the next thing I know, there's a phone up to my ear with a guy asking me repeatedly, "Is there anyone else in the car with your passenger?" I said, "Hey, I'm not getting involved. I'm trying to drive and this is making it so that I cannot drive safely. Can you please get the phone away from my ear?" I simply acted like I didn't even really hear the guy. I just asked them to get the phone away from me. And I was nice about it and they absolutely took it away and they said, "See, no one else is in the phone." And the situation was kind of handled at that point, even though they kept trying to get me to talk to their boyfriend and tell them that no one else was in the car. This was a situation I don't want any part of whatsoever. Now, other drivers, Chris even mentioned that many times when he's driving, he's been hit on. He's even had a situation where he was hit on while the boyfriend was in the car sitting right next to him. The girlfriend was in the back seat rubbing Chris's arm. Really inappropriate, made Chris uncomfortable, but that's what some people do. They try to get a rise, they try to get you involved in their life, their situation, what's going on with them. Sometimes it's not as big of a thing as that. It's not such a story where you're like, "Hey, I need to turn off for the rest of the night. I'm done. I'm going home." Sometimes it's as simple as being hit on when you don't want to. Sometimes it's being asked very personal questions. Sometimes it's them trying to get your views on politics, religion, or whatever the case may be. Whatever it is, passengers on many occasions will try to get you wrapped up in their lives. Now, hopefully, most of your passengers are those that want that quiet ride where they're just sitting in the back and maybe some music's going. But if a situation arises and a passenger is trying to get you involved, what can you do? There's a number of things that you can do, such as, like I did, pretend like you're not doing it. You can also explain to them that it's company policy that you don't get involved in the passengers' lives just like that. And that's not even a lie because you're your own business. So if it's your policy not to get involved, then it's company policy not to get involved in passengers' lives. You could also try to mitigate the situation. You could explain things and go along with it. Ultimately, though, it's going to be up to you as the driver. Again, this is your business. So if you want to get involved in those things, if that entertains you, if that brings you joy, by all means. But you always want to be careful. And if it becomes too much, you can always pull over, ask them to get out, or if it's happening even before you get there, then you do not want them in the car and you can cancel the ride before they even get in the car. Now, some ways that you can even avoid getting in these situations at all is choosing when and, more importantly, where you'll drive. If there's areas such as bars and late at night, those are typically going to be a lot of requests, and there's some people that make all of their money driving during that time. But if you don't want to ever be in a bad situation, then avoiding those areas are going to mitigate that risk a lot, because when people come out of bars, they've had a lot to drink. And that's going to be the kind of situations that you can get in. Not always, but can get in. Also, driving early in the morning. I've had one experience where I picked someone up early in the morning. I started driving at about 5 in the morning on a Sunday, thinking I would get some airport rides. I picked this guy up from his house or his girlfriend's house, I'm not really sure. He asks me how my night is going. I told him that I had just got up. This was my first ride. And he says, oh, I haven't been to bed yet. He was still partying from the night before. So driving early morning on like a Saturday or a Sunday, you're probably going to start getting some of those people that stayed up a little too late, had a little bit too much fun the night before. In that situation for me, it wasn't a huge deal. He actually put the address in and fell asleep in the back seat. I did have to wake him up when we got to the destination because he was sound asleep, but that wasn't even a big deal. I didn't even have to touch him, just say, hey man, we're at the destination. He got up and got out. Now, there are times where I personally think it's okay to get involved or to do something for the passenger. It's a little bit extra. For instance, at the airport, getting the luggage in and out of the vehicle, I think it's a nice touch. It shows a little bit of customer service, so they may increase the tip. But more importantly to that for me is the fact that they're not going to damage my car by throwing their luggage or scratching my car up. I'm in control, so if the car does get scratched by luggage, it's my fault because I did it. So I'd prefer that I do it for them, but it also comes across as a good customer service. Another situation is older ones who maybe have difficulty getting in and out. Now, I used to have a small Toyota Corolla, and some of the older ones that got in and out, it was difficult for them to get out. So I would actually get up and go around and help them out of the vehicle. Sometimes they would even ask me to do that. That type of involvement, I don't have an issue helping because I don't think they're going to take advantage of me. Sometimes they look like they're 90 years old. I think I can take them if something goes wrong. So it's a matter of perspective and what you're comfortable with. So here are some of the stories that we've put together and how we feel about getting involved in passengers' lives when you're out there driving. What are some of the craziest stories and things that you've had happen? We'd love to hear about them. We read every single comment. If you have any questions or anything, please leave them below. We'd love to hear it. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. It helps us out. And subscribe to the channel because there's new stuff that comes out every single week that'll help you make as much money as possible in as little time as possible. And until next time, stay safe out there, everyone.